Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. This one is for #scrap5. So this is our July challenge. Those are the list of the things we needed to get on here, which was geometric shapes, a cut file or dies, 4x4 photos, photos, silver, and chipboard. So this was super tricky. The list itself did not seem that challenging. Problem came in when I really wanted to use this specific collection because it's my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit for this month, and I was determined to use it, and I just realized that it was going to be a little difficult with this particular list. Because this collection uses gold and not silver. There's 0 geometric shapes really in this collection. And I was going to have to pull in chipboard, which I don't have any chipboard from this collection. I only have the sticker sheet. So yeah, but I was determined. I was like, there's a way I can find to do all of this on here. So that's what I'm doing. This is also Scrap Academy's challenge for their lesson about cutting tools, so different types of trimmers, scissors, etc. I'm just trying to get 3 different types of cutting tools used on this page. So you just saw me there. I used my We Are Memory Keeper scoreboard cutter that has the blade that you drag. I use that to gut my paper. I really like using that to gut my paper. I use my Caterpillar crop for pretty much everything else, but the one thing that is kind of difficult to do on it is gutting. So you saw me use my Caterpillar crop to trim down this background paper so I could mat it, and then you saw me use my We Are Memory Keepers trimmer to gut that yellow paper, and I'm just going to have that yellow be a really nice frame around this page. There you see I pulled in that XOXO cut file, excuse me, that I got from Redefine Creative. I love that cut file, and I thought the white and the text looked really nice over this kind of landscape background. It kind of helped break up the scene, and because the background is so dark, I really thought the white popped. So right away, I already have my cut file on here. That was a 4x6 photo, but I did trim it down to 4x4 to go with the challenge, and then I'm just matting that on some yellow as well. That way the yellow mat that's around the entire layout is pulled into the middle of the page by being the mat around the photo. So I have those 2 things covered. I have 2 of my 3 cutting tools used. The last one that you'll see later on in the page, I'm just going to use my Cutter B scissors to kind of trim up a few areas and fussy cut a few things. So that's my 3rd kind of cutting tool for the Scrap Academy challenge. So I'm really just trying to focus on this Scrap 5 challenge. So I got my 4x4 photos, I got my cut file. I need to figure out how to do geometric shapes, silver, and chipboard. And it gave me a bit of a problem. But for right now, I'm just going to be an ostrich with the head in the sand and just start making my page and forget I need to do those things for a little while just so I can get the design down a little more. I don't have a lot of scraps from this collection yet because this is the 3rd page, I guess, because the first page was a double that I'm making with this collection. So I'm really trying to lean on the cut aparts for my layers because I really don't want to cut into a whole bunch of 12x12s for frames. So you can just see there, I'm getting chipboard on this page by using a plain piece of chipboard as dimensional foam. So I just use my Caterpillar crop to cut a square from that scrap piece of chipboard I had, and I just glued that to the back of the photo so there would be some dimension. So that's how I'm using chipboard for the Scrap 5 challenge. Like I mentioned, I didn't have any chipboard embellishments, so I'm just using this raw chipboard like foam. And I do that for an embellishment as well. You'll see me back one of the stickers from the sticker sheet on this chipboard, and then use my Cutter B scissors to trim it out. But that way I kind of have dimension, and it's nice solid dimension. It's not squishy like the foam is, so it is pretty nice actually using the chipboard for that. But that's just the way I decided to use it since I didn't really have chipboard to use in any kind of other application. I did just use my Tombow Mono multi glue to glue down that cut file, so I'm just making sure that's all smooth. I really like how that looks over this Scenic One Canoe 2 paper. I think it looks so nice, and it's such a nice anchor point for this photo. So that's pretty much where I'm deciding I want it. I do have this light blue and white houndstooth pattern that's a scrap from a previous page, so I am trying to use that for a little bit of the layers just because it is one of the scraps I do have. And the colors went. So I'm just cutting a little piece of that and putting that top and bottom. And then I have a couple cut apart strips of blues from this collection. So I have this sweet little lightning bug pattern paper strip, and that's going to go on the left side of the page. And then I do have this kind of two-tone blue gingham journaling spot. I didn't think I was going to really use the icons on this journaling piece. I could have cut this if I wanted to, but honestly I didn't think I would really use that as a journaling piece this month, so I'm just using that whole chunk as another layer to mat all of these photos. And I think it looks really nice how they'd all kind of patched together to make a frame. I really like all the different blue pattern papers next to each other. And I like how the photo stands out because it has that yellow mat around it initially. So that's pretty much all the paper layers going on this page. I do want to do a title. This is a pretty sentimental page. It's all about Grandpa's ring. So this was when we were in Minnesota visiting my grandma, and she wears Grandpa's ring on a necklace around her neck. And Bennett was just so drawn to it. Like, she had a couple other necklaces on there. Like, she had some like saint medals and stuff like that, but he was so drawn specifically to his wedding ring, not the ring on her finger, not her other necklaces, and he just like was so distracted by it. And I just thought it was really sweet that that's what he picked up on, and that's what he just kept wanting to look at and hold. So I'm just using the stickers that come in this project pad to spell out Grandpa's ring. I'm gonna do a little bit of journaling. But yeah, I just thought it was really sweet, and we captured that, so I wanted to make sure it was scrapbooked. And you can see I definitely want to pull in this yellow banner at the top that says never say never, because we were kind of talking about how, like, wonder if he could like kind of sense that he was maybe there or something like that, just because it was such a strong reaction from him. And so we just kind of, I like the sentiment never say never because it kind of ties into what we were talking about in the moment. And it brings more of that yellow into this page as well. But I'm trying my best to keep this title straight, which is difficult because it is cursive, and it's always hard for me to try and keep those titles straight when it's cursive or more scripty alphas. But I think we did okay, and I like where that title sits. It kind of helps drag your eye out into this landscape of the background. And I'll do a little bit of journaling and some white here in a minute. But yeah, here's where I'm going to cut another little piece of this raw chipboard to make another embellishment. I want some dimension up by that never say never banner, just so it's balanced across from the photos dimension. So I have this little sticker, this blue banner, that I'm just backing in this chipboard, and there you can see me trying to use my scissors to trim out that chipboard so it's not hanging underneath. But I think it looks really cool, and that chipboard has been in my stash forever. I've really just used it as like a backing for when I'm doing mixed media and stuff, so I don't get paint on my table. But I hadn't used it in a really long time, so I'm glad I'm getting it used up this way at least. So I'm just trying to make sure that looks nice. But that's going to layer on top of that banner. I like that there's a little bit of gold and some blue up there to try and pull in some of these blue layers and the gold from the title. I usually do not like mixing gold and silver, so this whole time I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do silver. So yeah, in the end I show you what I do, but it's kind of silver in a more subtle way, which I think works really well. But I'm happy where these layers are, so I'm going to go ahead and glue all these paper layers down, and then I definitely want to embellish. I really want to pull in a little bit more gold, maybe some more navy and yellow from the paper layers. But first I decided to pull in these little wood buttons that come in the collection, and then I realized, like, circles are geometric shape. I'm just gonna use circles for my geometric shape. So I started putting one of these in each cluster, and then what I end up doing is pulling in my silver water droplet looking enamel dots from the In Love art shop and clustering those around these other circular areas so that there's lots of circular embellishment all together. And that's how I'm going to try and skimp in underneath the geometric shape part of the recipe. I'm going with circles, and other than the banners, everything else is really circles. I do use a couple heart stickers because it's me and I can't help myself, but I'm using circles as the geometric element, and that's just what I'm gonna do because I didn't really have any other geometric thing that I felt like really went well with this collection, so it's happening. But really that's it. I need to get these silvery looking enamel dots on here, and that's gonna get my silver, and then I will have everything covered from this list. So got my cut file, got my 4x4 photos, got the chipboard used up as a dimensional element, got my circles on there for my geometric shape. And then here are those little silvery water droplet enamel dots. It's like clear resin bubbles on top of a silver sticker. So they do look silver even though they're kind of watery. But I just feel like that was the best way to try and pull it in with this collection because I really don't like mixing gold and silver together. But for whatever reason with this night sky, I felt like the more watery looking type of silver went. I don't know if it reminded me of like dew or the dark sky made me think it was kind of like raindrops or something. I don't know. But for whatever reason, I feel like that goes with this collection. So I'm going to run with it because I didn't really want to pull in some really flashy silver when I already had some gold on here. So yeah, I do need to do some journaling still. I'm just embellishing with some more hearts. I did put some word stickers from the sticker sheet on here. I put a yellow "So Very Blessed" on the photo. And then that "Live Today" up by the "Never Say Never" banner. And then I'm also sprinkling in some blue and gold hearts in a couple areas. But here I'm just using my washi trick to make sure my journaling is straight. And I'm just using my white Sakura Jelly Roll pen to do some journaling. And it just says, "Bennett was so drawn to Grandpa's ring that Grandma wears on a necklace. It was such a sweet moment," and a couple hearts. And I go over it twice. This white pen really does show up really well over some dark papers. But if you really want it to stand out, if you just go over it twice, it really adds quite an impact. So you'll see that in a minute. You can see my one layer of ink here, what it looked like, and then you'll be able to see what it looks like when I go over it twice. It really pops with the white. And I really liked using the white text because I think it kind of bounced back to that white cut file and brought that white across the page. So I think that helped a lot. You could read this fine without me going over it twice, but here you can really see the difference. Once you go over the journaling twice with that pen, it just really, really pops. But I think that's pretty much it for this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to play along with the Scrap 5 challenge, just make sure you tag us on Instagram with #Scrap5. We love when you guys play along. And I will also link Scrap Academy in the description if you do want to check them out. It's an awesome Facebook group where they do weekly lessons. And like I said before, it's a great resource for people who are brand new to scrapbooking and really need some instruction from the ground up. It's free, everyone's really nice, and there's lots of talented people. But like I said before, I am really enjoying myself, and there's a lot of advanced scrapbookers in there that are playing along with these challenges, and there's different levels, so it is open to all types of experiences. And like I said before, you can always learn more. So thank you guys so much for watching. I think the close-ups will be here in a little bit. I did just want to move around these little silvery enamel dots a little bit just so they were spaced better. And here I'm adding more hearts because I can't help myself. I love the hearts. So I wanted to get those light blue ones on there too. I think there's a gold one on there I put somewhere as well. But after that, I'm done. I thought that we were at the end of this process video, and apparently we weren't. So it's okay. Just using all the hearts. I think pretty much the only hearts left on that sticker sheet are all the pink ones. I used all the gold and all the blue already, but it was worth it. So this is, like I said, my second project, but my third layout, because the first page I made with this collection was a double page spread, so it's technically 2 pages. But the next page that you will see will be a companion page to this one. Actually, you might see the double next. I think the double you'll see next, which was the first page, and then you'll see the companion page to this one after that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.